Welcome to the channel, Optimize Every Day, where we're helping you to make a 1% change daily. Hey, welcome to Optimize Every Day, where we look to improve 1% daily. And we're expecting that from you too. So, yesterday we talked a little bit about you and your editing failures.
Yeah, the failures that will probably lead to future success. So we're failing forward is what we're trying to do.
Failing forward, failing up.
Yeah.
And then we discussed my paperwork failures, although I did get to paperwork.
Yep.
And
but it got you on the right track, so that's failing
did.
forward.
So today I actually got 2 pieces of paperwork completed. So, yay! I still got tons left to do, but that's progress.
Yeah, it's I think most people are going to go through what we're going through. They're going to go through the same thing. So it's good that they see us go through it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is something you've kind of figured out in your 1% improvement for the last 24 hours?
Which one?
It doesn't matter. We're looking at a 1% improvement.
Yeah, I would say going back to the efficiency thing. I think, like I say, the failures kind of led me to find new ways to be efficient, or find more efficient ways to be efficient. So whatever you're focused on, there seems to be levels to that thing. You know, if you're into say rock climbing, right? There's the first level of, okay, I'm trying to rock climb. Then you kind of get good at it. Then you find these masterful techniques to do it faster or better or safer. And so there's levels to everything you try to do. So I think that's what it is. Once you get going on something, you're going to go through phases of levels, and where you test the level. Well, that's not it. You test the ledge, so to speak. That's not the ledge, you know. And that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point you make. And kind of reiterate one point that we made yesterday, was that once you reach a certain level of mastery, you know, you feel like you're good enough. And once you reach that good enough point, everybody seems to slip.
Yeah.
And research proves that does happen, that is real.
So, I do want to talk more about that, because you did speak about that yesterday, and I kind of didn't fully get, you know, when somebody masters something. Do you mean they put it away after they master it? Like, I can use it later, or what is it?
No, it's like, you know, you're sitting there doing algebra in school, and you get to a certain point where you've mastered the concepts, and instead of going and saying, you know, I need to put more effort into this to maintain that skill set level,
let it
you
go.
say, and you know, I want to go learn something else. And so instead of learning something that keeps those skills sharp, you go off and do something else, and then that skill set slips, and you're not as sharp as you were before. So then you have to go, you know, start doing things that will sharpen up that skill set.
Yeah, so you say once you reach the mastery level, you have to keep sharpening that tool.
Yeah. It's like, you know, it's like a knife, you know. Once you use it, you know, and it's been being used for a while, you know, the knife gets dull, so you got to go back and resharpen the tool,
so you can use it again.
So you can, absolutely. So, you know, that's one aspect that, you know, we need to be keeping in mind as we improve, is because it's a normal thing to slip. And you can still be making your 1% improvement every day and still have that slip. It just means that, you know, to make your 1% improvement, you're having to work a little bit harder because this other area is slipping.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Sometimes, you know, the slip is no big deal, because new things you've learned will overtake the areas that are slipping. So, you know, it's like, if you learned Fortran years ago, Who uses Fortran? Nobody uses Fortran anymore. Well, maybe there are a few people who use Fortran anymore.
And AOL.
And AOL, yes. There are still a few people who use AOL. But they're not the player they once were. So now we're looking for that 1% improvement. My 1% improvement was I actually got 2 pieces of paperwork completed. I already mentioned
that's really good.
I still have lots more to do, but I sat there and said, I'm going to be on this by a certain time. I made that certain time. So now tomorrow it puts me on target to do that again.
Yeah, because you see where the goal is, or where that ledge was, where you can meet it, and you're like, hey, I can do that again. Maybe do better, get more. Yep, that's how it works. Exactly how it works.
And we all live busy lives. So what we're working on today as our 1% may not be the same as the 1% we work on tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah. It can change up based upon, the circumstances of life, what pops up today.
And your needs.
And
and wants.
Yeah. And how much you want it is very important. How much you want to get there is going to determine how much work you put into it also.
So when you're thinking about your 1% improvement, what are some things that come into your mind about you making a 1% improvement?
I'd say a lot of it is improving under circumstance, right? So you may want to improve in a certain area. Like for me, trying to edit more videos faster, find newer ways to do things. It takes a certain amount of fuel to do that. So, and like we talked about yesterday, you were talking about getting good sleep, stuff like that. It's about how much sleep you get, how much time and energy you have to put into it. So juggling that is huge.
It's amazing how much a good night's sleep can help in making a huge advancement in improvement in doing things, where suddenly you're sharper, you're more able to focus, you're more able to keep your mind on your topic.
On task.
On task, staying on task. And sometimes, for some people, I know there's some executives out there that take a nap every afternoon. They go in take lunch. They start at 2, and they don't come back to work until or start at noon, and then they come back to work at 2.
Yeah.
And that big 2-hour break is a personal time that they take. They don't necessarily sleep during that 2 hours of time, but they meditate and they think and they clear their mind of everything that is clutter. And that clutter in their head, when that just is all just pushed out and they've got their mind wholly clear, then they can bring in ideas where they think about new things or existing problems or situations that they need to deal with. Life can be very stressful, and some people will, if they don't meditate or do things that clear their head, will bring them to having panic attacks and just being not able to function. And instead of making a 1% advance, you're doing a 3% backtrack. And
you'll lose more traction doing, not being in the zone where you're feeling good and you're clear of all those thoughts, like you're saying. Meditation is a great way to do that. Daily meditation. I mean, just a quick rest up. I think there's a certain amount of minutes you can power nap to really get refilled. I'm not sure if it's like 15, 30 minutes, something like that. These are all things that can help people perform better, things like that. For me, it is coffee and energy drinks. I got in a habit back, I would say, before like 5 years ago. I never drank coffee, was never a coffee drinker, but started drinking coffee when I was working a job one time, electrical and a gas job in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I like had to have coffee to make it through the days. Of course, coffee makes you pee a lot, so I was peeing a whole lot at the time. But ever since then, become like a energy drink. Energy drinks and coffee, and it's horrible for you. The energy drink part, at least. But for me, making it through my day has a lot to do with that. Even on minimal sleep, because as you know, when you're a lot of times, for adult males, as husbands and fathers, and all the things you have to do, sleep may escape us most days, or quality sleep anyway. So that's how I generally make it through my days and really get that energy going for the day.
Well, I've heard tell you're sleeping better than you have in a while.
Yeah.
The last few days.
Yeah, I got probably a good 7 hours of sleep last night. Although sleep is, like I say, I think in my adult life, sleep has not been. Maybe sometimes, you know what? Some people work like this. The more sleep you get, the tireder you're going to be. I think some people work. If you're used to getting 4 hours of sleep, if you get 8, man, you're going to be.
There is some truth to.
Yeah.
If you sleep too much.
Then
it will make you tired.
It makes you tired, man. And
but that again. Too much sleep is bad, but not enough sleep is bad.
Yeah, it's like a balance you have to keep, right?
You have to have that balance. And for most people, that sleep minimum is between 5 to 7 hours.
Yeah.
And for some people, the maximum number of sleep is between 6 and 9 hours.
Right. Yeah, I'm used to about 4, 5 max. Yeah, most of my adult life has been about 4 hours sleep. Yeah, I never get long nights of sleep. It's just weird. I think also, we're talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
You're not getting any sleep if you're an entrepreneur. Leave that, forget that's a thought. You can throw that out the window. If you're really trying to start a business, if you're really trying to go hard and make that thing work, you're not getting much sleep. If you're getting a lot of sleep, if you're getting 8 hours a night sleep and talking about you're really trying to start a successful business from a lower level. Now, if you're already a millionaire, yeah, you can probably do that. But if you're starting as an average person, no, you're not getting much sleep.
If you're the average person who's having to work a full-time job
and then try to business, you're not sleeping, man.
Doing the job on top of that.
Yeah, you're going to sleep at your desk and you're going to sleep on the couch when you get home.
You're going to be working basically 16 hours a day.
Yep.
And
minimum.
And then when you get home, or
traffic. Driving to work.
If you're having to drive and you have to deal with the traffic, that could be.
Meetings.
I mean, heck, if you're in San Francisco or LA, that could be an extra.
Then if you have a family, you're trying to drop kids off and pick up something the wife asked for, and you're trying to work on the business. You're trying to make calls, connect, network. Sleep is a secondary thought in that case. So you really have to find unique ways.
Yeah, and there is you have to get a certain amount of sleep no matter what. That's
2 hours max for you entrepreneurs. 2 hours, all we're giving you.
But if you can at least get the minimum that you necessarily have to have to function, that's going to at least get
I wouldn't even say a minimum. I would say get as much as you can. But if you're really going, I've never known a person that's really trying to make it happen to get much at all sleep. I mean, you heard the stories, people. But even if you're not starting your own business and you're just working hard for a company, I've been in situations for companies where I slept at work. I did not leave. I slept there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I had an office I could sleep in. Sometimes, I'm asleep at my desk. And I would stay there and I'd wake up and go right back to the same job. Literally, this is a true story. So getting a lot of sleep, having a lot of time for that. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to go hard, man. And that's what I would suggest to them.
And another thing that you need to do, especially if you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're an entrepreneur, is you need to have planned breaks, vacation breaks.
Yeah. Schedule everything really in your life.
You need to plan on having a vacation, even if that's just 2 or 3 days every quarter. You need to have a planned vacation, and then at least a longer vacation annually. But you need to be taking a vacation every quarter, so that you can clear your mind and you just put away everything.
Exactly.
You don't take your laptop with you. You don't take your phone with you. You leave all your technology away and just diss it all.
And I
Go
just want to
fishing or
add,
something.
exactly, because if that's exactly right, because if you don't take those breaks, you'll be the thing that breaks.
Right.
If you don't take those needed breaks, done.
And that is a big part of being able to make that 1% improvement too. When you are able to get away from all of that stuff and do that, that is a strategy for making a 1% improvement. And then when you come back, you're refreshed. And sometimes it feels like you need a vacation from your vacation, but the vacation from vacation is getting back to work.
Yeah, the vacation can wear you out too. Because I heard a long time ago that even when you're on vacation, and this was a great speaker that said this, even when you're on vacation, your day should be scheduled. You should have a schedule for each day of vacation, what I'm doing at this time, where I'm eating tonight, all that stuff should be scheduled on a vacation.
I don't know about that.
I heard that a long time ago.
I've heard that too. I don't like to vacation like that.
Yeah, a lot of people
like
don't.
To when I go on vacation, I want to be able to have things be spontaneous. Now, there are some things that I like to have scheduled.
Yeah, like, parts of it.
Yeah, parts of it. Like zip lining. I like to go zip lining. And when I zip line, that has to be a scheduled event.
It's a scheduled event, right?
Otherwise, you're going and then you end up
waiting in line or might not be able to get in.
You may not even be able to
So what the scheduling is about on vacation is for when you go somewhere to maximize what's there, right? So we're talking maximization. So if you schedule, say your first day, you scheduled a zip lining, you knew that you were doing that at 10 a.m. Then you knew that at 11:30 a.m. you were going to do this, and at 12 you're going to do this, and you go through the day. Now, one day of vacation, you got it in. You did a lot, and you're like, wow, And so the next day you might not schedule anything though. You might be like, I'm just laying on the beach, right? And then the next day you might schedule. It's good to have everything scheduled out, because if I go somewhere and I'm just like, I'm here on vacation, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to, even when I go to Miami, I'm just getting in trouble because I'm just thinking, go to clubs or. And I don't really schedule the important things that I should really be enjoying about the place I'm at. So for people like me, maybe schedule.
For me, I don't need to schedule.
Yeah. He's a professional vacationer, so he can tell you.
My vacations are always where I get to let loose and not worry about my schedule.
And being somewhere and doing having to do that. Yep.
And it's a chance for me to relax, but yet I still set some plans of what I want to accomplish during my vacation. Like when I was over in St. Croix just a little bit ago, one of the places that I wanted to visit was the Botanical Gardens. And set the plan to do that early in the week, and it didn't happen early in the week. It happened, literally the last day we were there. And I wanted to go scuba diving. Well, when I could go scuba diving was when we originally planned to go to the Botanical Gardens. So I was able to do that. Finding activities like those which can put you into a meditative state. For some people, scuba diving is like super meditative, because unless you've got those scuba systems that allow you to talk and you've got mics and whatever, you really can't talk. So, you've either got to be keeping your eye on attention on other things, which means that then you have to be clear in your head and you just become meditative to some level. And that meditative level is really awesome. And you're down under the water for, half hour to an hour, depending on how much air you're taking down with you.
Very, very relaxing things to do on vacation. And like I say, I could go somewhere and sit in a hotel most of my vacation and probably get lost in there. I think I've done
some
that
people
before.
do. Some people can, and some people do.
Yep.
I mean, I've got friends who went to Hawaii, and they
never left the resort.
They sat in the resort there in Waikiki, and the most they did was go, in the evening, walk out to the beach and get up, almost knee depth in water. And that was the most wet they got. And the rest of the time they either sat on the beach reading a book or up in the hotel room reading a book. And then in the evening, they'd go find a nice place to go have dinner. That can be very cathartic as well. Where
What word was that?
Cathartic?
Say it one more time.
Cathartic?
Oh, okay. Cathartic. I've never said that word in my life.
It's just what brings you joy to a point. We're not going to get Marie Kondo here, but there is a level where you do need to declutter your mind and your space
just relax.
and what you're doing. That will bring you a relaxation so that you can move forward. And what we're trying to do here is literally move forward and make that 1% improvement daily.
Exactly. Now, I want to talk about today's 1% improvement.
Okay.
For me today, it's going to be, because I've been messing with this all morning, equaling out my audio levels. Because I've been making videos and the audio's like this, and I'm trying to get it like this. So that's my thing today, to improve that for better production performance, and going back to my original with efficiency.
Well, that definitely, when you're trying to be a editing professional.
Yeah, producing.
And producing videos, that's really important. And, it'll lead to...
Good audio. Got to sound good and look good, right?
Sound good, look good. It'll lead to making movies someday.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you'll
movies on YouTube like we're making right now. Movies on YouTube only.
Well, it all depends. Maybe your goals will grow in the future.
Yeah, forget
Maybe you want to have a major motion picture.
Yeah, forget Hollywood. We don't need them.
Heck, lots and lots of movies are not made in Hollywood. I can't tell you how many movies have been made in St. Louis, but it's more than I have fingers and toes. So, and I know there's a bunch of filmmakers out here that are doing their best to make movies out here. So, it is a possibility.
That's right.
And the skills you're doing and improving
and can build onto that.
So,
what is your 1% for today? We know you're on the paperwork trail.
I'm on my paperwork trail. That is true. And I think that I've made that 1%. So on that, I'm going to continue working that. But I think I'm going to change speed a little bit on my next 1%, and I'm going to be looking at not just the paperwork, but I'm looking at improvements on my business.
Yeah.
And where I can,
the particulars.
What contacts I can generate and create so that when my business is ready to fly, it will fly. It's amazing where you can go anywhere And if you strike up a conversation, you can end up being able to give a 30-second elevator speech, and people respond to that 30-second elevator speech, and then they give you input that's positive, and that positive impact leads you to thinking in new ways that you didn't think before. But then they hand you their business card because obviously they feel like there's something in what you want to do that not only can they benefit from, but obviously they feel like you can benefit from them too.
Very true.
So
something resonated with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And the more we can get people to resonate with what we are trying to accomplish, the easier it is to get things done. I know with the paperwork that I'm working on, I actually have a couple of people that I'm in contact with that I'm using to help me get the paperwork done.
Like they've probably been through the process and they can help you out.
They have been through the process, but not only have they been through the process, but they also know that this process
Sucks.
is difficult.
Sucks.
And when you're dealing with government entities and these
Everything moves
bureaucrats,
slow. Everything moves slow through the
everything
government.
moves slow, but they're building their fiefdoms, and so they create paperwork that makes them relative.
Right, exactly. Earn them a paycheck out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's earning them a paycheck, and it's costing you money, or me money.
Costs us all money because taxpayer dollars going in and paying them to act that way.
In the case of business, it's the business who's having to pay for it.
Also, those are added fees and costs.
Yeah, it is, and that means it costs you guys more when you have to, when you stay at a hotel or an Airbnb or a Vrbo, or you're going and renting a car, or even just a hotel room, or you're going to the casino, whatever it is. All of those things, all those costs the government force on you means that they have to recover those costs. And who's paying those costs? Well, technically, it's not the business. It's you, the clientele, who end up paying for it.
Yeah, we're paying for all that.
And businesses, they, have to make decisions based on how much that stuff costs. And for some places, creating a business can cost you, $3,000 to $5,000 just to get the business license and get it started. So, it's a big expense to start a business in some places. In some places, it's really
anywhere. I mean, it can be cheaper, but I just think the cost of doing business is always a big risk and a big expense. But the reward on the other side, if you really make the right decisions, is incredible.
Yep, and that's where we need to be making our 1% to improvements, because when government says, hey, it's going to cost you $300 for this piece of paper and $1,000 for that piece of paper, and your business license is going to be another $1,500, and you have to have all three of those pieces of paper in order to even do business.
Right.
As a business person, I got to think, how much do I have to charge my for the product that I'm providing, and how much do I have to sell to recover that money, and what is the cost of having that money held? So, if I'm not thinking about this right, I may end up losing that whole bit of money, and that's super sad. But you do what you can, and you get where you can, and you do what you can, and but anyway, my 1% is going to be focused on finding individuals who can better help me with the development of my business and my channels, and making them successes. So How are you feeling about your 1% improvement?
I'm liking it so far today. I've worked on the audio parts of this so far today, and it's been good. It's been good. So, just hoping it ends up good, because sometimes you start off thinking here it goes, and then you have some drawbacks. It is a lot of extra work rebooting everything, but you got to be willing to do the work. Like I say, the overtime, like we talked about, the staying up, going hard, just focus, man, and really.
You do have to remember that that might be going more than the 1% you need.
Yeah.
So, and this is baby
never do
steps.
what's needed. Overdo it. Outwork everybody. That's my advice. Outwork everybody. I don't care if you're going to the soccer field. Be the hardest worker out there.
Well, there's never anything wrong with being the hardest worker. But when you're trying to improve 1%, if you're the guy who's, out there working the hardest, if you're making that 1% improvement and the littlest guy on the field isn't doing his 1%, the team's not going to succeed.
Right.
The Cardinals and the Yankees are not the Yankees and the Cardinals. Cardinals and Yankees are not number 1 and number 2 in World Series wins for no reason. They are always looking for improvement in their players. And if you're not improving, you're going away. They trade you away to somebody else who's not doing so well. And
like the Dodgers.
That very well may be true. Although I think the Dodgers are doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, now they are.
And everyone can make the simple 1% improvement every day.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here at day 3, so tomorrow is day 4.
And I swear day 3 is our longest video yet.
It is.
I guarantee
it is. It is.
So hopefully you guys watch to the end, because we need your views. We need your likes and subscriptions also.
Absolutely.
Get in the comments.
And we want your comments as well.
Yeah, tell me how many times I yawned because I got too much sleep today.
So anyway, like, subscribe, and comment.
And comment.
Have a good one.
See y'all tomorrow.